So that was Julian Lisa. I also caught up with Murli Bhojwani. Murli Bhojwani is one of the biggest import-export and businessmen in Sydney and in Australia. And he's built himself from ground up. Somebody who came in the 70s, settled here in the 80s, worked all sorts of odd jobs before starting his own venture. Today, his next generation is also carrying forward and they're looking to do more business with India. That's what they wanted to do. So here's Murli Bhojwani with his sons, three of them, who are really working hard, not just contributing to the Australian economy, but also very happy that there is greater engagement between India and Australia. Listen into this conversation. You've got a story which everybody is envious about. The first thing I was told when I came to Sydney is that if there's one place you need to see is Mr. Bhojwani's house. But मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ, and I want you to tell us that it all started with literally nothing, isn't it, back in the 80s? आप कब आए थे? When did you first come here?
Came here in 79 actually.
79,
yes.
Wow. Okay.
But didn't like it. Was homesick because you couldn't see many Indians here, or it was like very lonely, isolation, lonely, and then you just on your own. तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. Can you use Hindi?
Yeah, बिल्कुल.
हाँ, तो ज़्यादा कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. गोरे लोग and all that, not used to that. No food. Indian restaurant only one. Fijian Indian restaurant selling very totally different kind of food. So went back. Didn't like it. So that's when I got my visa during Fraser's time. So Fraser was the prime minister at that time. McKellar was the immigration minister.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Long time, yes. So then, since I had the permanent visa, so I had to come. I felt that I should be coming here. Don't lose this visa, which is so difficult to get. So I kept coming here every year, but then never liked it. So somehow got settled in 83. So formed my company with almost nothing. Nobody can own Sydney, but I must say I met a guy from South Africa not long, about 20 years ago, and one thing he told me, and which is stuck with me, and which I will tell anybody: there is no place like Sydney.
There is
no place in the world.
No place like Sydney.
No, it's such a beautiful city. It's such a lovely country. It gives equal opportunity to everyone, which our Prime Minister wants to do. Give equal opportunity to everyone. I'm a fan of Modi, so I wouldn't speak more in favor of him, but he is my idol. So more or less same wavelength. So my Prime Minister is Anthony Albanese, but as Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, he is an amazing person, amazing. So his vision is my vision. So more or less he's doing what I would do. So I can relate to that. And I'm totally in favor of that. Because he's not for you, me, or him, He's for everyone. So whoever is 140 crore, उनको संभालना. India is such a diverse country. इसमें it's like a zoo.
Correct.
So शेर भी है, चीता भी है, बड़ा भालू भी है, बेचारी हिरन भी है, जो कुछ भी नहीं करता, खरगोश भी है. तो इतने सारे जानवर हैं, अलग-अलग, सॉरी टू से जानवर, मतलब अलग-अलग लोग हैं उधर. आप कहीं भी चले जाओ. It's like whole Europe, whole world is in India.
Correct.
To control that country is not easy.
Ask the three of you, Girish. Your dad seems to have kept you right there, on the rails, on the racks. Absolutely. How's it been working with your dad and also taking on the mantle?
Yeah, it's been obviously very easy. No, I'm just kidding. It's been very hard. I've been 20 years at it, and to instill the values that he has instilled into all of us hasn't been as easy because he leads by example. He's been a great father to us. But living in Australia, it's also a different generation. So we had to bridge the gap between the old school Indian values that he's brought to us and also the generation that we are now in, who are brought up as. But he's been amazing as a father. He sent us to the best schools. But I was only Indian in that school. So it was tough.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was very early on as the only Indian, and I was always felt that it was a bit tougher to express my who I was, because that's what my parents taught me. But as my father said, I would say that Australia's come a long way in the sense that it's so diverse and it's so multicultural that we've all become now one. And to succeed in business hasn't been that difficult with the values that we've instilled into us, because that's what Australia has offered us. Yeah.
You guys are in trade, import and export. So let me ask you, how has the dynamics changed with respect to trade with India? Do you guys do business with India much?
Yeah, so we do trade with India. We buy a lot from other countries as well, like China and so on. So a lot of our business has been China, but we definitely look forward to the manufacturing element improve in India, and then we can shift our buying and support India even more, especially in manufacturing.
Manufacturing as an aspect was you felt has been a little bit of a block with India?
Yeah, I think China is obviously well ahead of the curve when it comes to manufacturing and producing, and there is some room for growth to shift the world buying from China and shift that to India, definitely, and that's an area for growth for both Australia to buy more from India, an area of growth for India to come up.
If I was a young guy, an entrepreneur wanting to do business and looking for business opportunities with Australia based in India, what should be the area of focus and what should we be looking at?
I would say definitely manufacturing. If Australia and India can bridge the gap with manufacturing, India is the world's largest democracy, with the world's largest young people coming through. So, with the Indian diaspora and the Australian young generation coming through, we're really looking forward to, bridging that gap in how we can work together. We're really excited to do so as well, being Indians or Australian-born Indians, and we're confident about it. We're excited about it, and bring it on.